Spark a conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, education. This is Menage with the MariJayneMaven. When we on the air, it's always a lituation. Might talk about some litigation, might talk about some immigration, might talk about some politics, but never talking nonsense. Yes, we on in the slide. Watch and listen, it's a vibe. Watch it while you getting high, or you can listen while you drive. Just don't forget to subscribe.
Roll up. Trying to get high.
Welcome to Menage with the MariJayneMaven podcast with your host, the MariJayneMaven. I am the producer, the hubby. Follow us on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Show us some love and click that subscribe button now. Don't forget to click the bell so you get notifications and click the like button on the videos.
And now, your host.
The first one is from my fam. I love that he is asking something, that I really do have an opinion on. I mean, there's not much that I don't, but something that is relevant right now. And it definitely fits within living a cannabis, lifestyle that's full of wellness and, really optimizing your quality of life. So what are your thoughts on the vaccine and the vaccine passport? Real talk. You guys listen to me. You know that I was like, you're not about to get me to turn into a zombie when they first came out with the vaccine. I was like, I'm good. And I also, look, same feelings of many Black Americans. We can't really trust what the government says they're doing when our health is involved. We know that there's been, things that have happened in the past. We're not guinea pigs, but we're definitely treated like it. And if you really want more of the conspiracy side of me, probably wasn't too much of a project or, we were being guinea pigs. Probably one of their plans and their, we won't go there, but let's just say in their plan to eradicate us. But I won't get too far into that. So I definitely was like, I don't trust it. You cannot I don't trust for the treatment of multiple sclerosis, which you all know lives with me. I don't trust the medication that they say, especially if you watch any kind of TV nowadays. There's 9,000 different options versus when I got diagnosed in 2006, and it was like you had 3. So once again, I know that the medical industry is not all bad. But like I said, anytime that the government's involved, it makes me a little bit more leery. And we know that when money's involved, which is involved in both the medical aspect, big pharma, and within government, it makes me even more leery. So, as I said, I would joke about it. You can listen to past episodes. Dave, can you get that for me? It's another new comment. So I would always say, like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. You're not about to get me out there. I didn't think that I was actually prepared to be a zombie or to run from zombies, which was definitely part of my motivation to kind of change some things and become more self-sufficient over this last year. But once we decided to go ahead and take it, once there was enough information, and once we knew that we were not going to take the one that had the least amount of efficacy, then we felt a little better about it. So I actually got my vaccine, my first shot, the day before my birthday, which was kind of weird because last year we shut down a couple of days before my birthday. So I was like, oh, who would have guessed that a year later, I knew we were still going to be dealing with it, but for my birthday, I'd be getting vaccinated. But yeah, so as far as the vaccine passport, we really have to do what needs to be necessary for us to really get back to normal. For me, I have children 13 and 10. The 13-year-old is vaccinated, but the 10-year-old is not. And I'm not super excited about anything they come up with and say this is safe for them. Their immune systems are so sensitive and still developing. So I just feel kind of like, I don't know about that. But for me to be able to try to get my children back into, a sense of normalcy, For me to do it, for us to feel comfortable, I need other people to be accountable. And I know I'm accountable. I know I do what needs to be done. I know that my children know how to wash their hands and put on masks and whatnot, but I can't account for anybody else. So the passport, it helps us to allow for accountability. Now, on the other side, there's already a market for the fake vaccination cards. So why wouldn't there be one for fake, vaccine passports or whatever may be needed? So I see the benefit of it. And like I said, if that's what's going to help people to be accountable and allow us to get back to our lives, awesome. But there's some flaws. It hasn't been worked out yet. So thank you so much for that question, Cuzzo. You guys let me know what you think. I know that we have a fantastic comment, and going off of what I was mentioning, it was saying that we're definitely not guinea pigs. Go down a little bit. The hubby. Thank you. So definitely not guinea pigs. They knew exactly what they were doing. It's super heartbreaking and evil. And the thing is that they're still doing things of this nature. When they go, look over here, and then over here they're doing something that is, at detriment to many of communities that are full of brown people. Hence, still don't think they have clean water in Flint. IJS. Yep, IJS. I'm just saying. So another question that we have, and this is one that I've actually had for a little bit, but I do talk back and forth with this individual through Instagram and Twitter. Their handle is at new to this. Please be gentle. I don't know how they worked it out. I mean, they worked it out. That's a long title, but they got it all in there. So their question was, how do you get an older family member, i.e. mom, grandmother, aunt, uncle, somebody that's in need of using cannabis or using another form of medication and healing? How do you get them to be comfortable with it? I asked him to just dive into it a little bit more because I had a feeling where it was coming from, and it's all based in the religion. It's all based in the Bible saying that it's not right and it's a drug and it's dope and blah, blah, blah. So I've shared the story before, but I really appreciate the question. And I'm more than happy to share that when I was able to get my grandmother, who I said it before, saved, sanctified, stamped down for glory, first lady of a church, from Jackson, Mississippi. When I was able to get her to say, get me whatever you can get me, I trust you. That's when I was validated. I wasn't hiding what I was doing. I wasn't hiding that I medicated because I'm hella grown. But I was being respectful about it as well. But in that moment, it was just a message that I needed for me to be able to say, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I'm going to help my grandmother and I'm going to help other people that are of that generation or, in church or whatever it may be, that's what I'm supposed to do. I like to talk way too much, not to be able to influence people and to educate them so they make the right decisions or the decision right for themselves and for their, like I said, to optimize their quality of life. So I would start, you got to start slow. I'm more than happy to do some education with them. I am going to be getting right back into doing the educational events as well as working with Monthleaf on doing our Create and Elevate events. So you guys know, holler at us if you guys want to book something for one of your events, or if you want to book, like a mystery dinner, or like I said, an education service, or maybe we then, create something. So topicals, I make my own topicals, edibles, lip balm, the stuff for the goodies below, whatever it may be. So get at me for that plug. So as I was saying, it's really important to start with the education. This is why my mission is to educate, eradicate, and elevate. So if we start with that, all imperative and just so it is just needed, it's necessary to educate, to make sure that the reefer madness reels that probably play in the back of their head over and over, just everything that they've been indoctrined with over 60 plus years of their life, that we're able to re-educate them and actually not even re-educate them, but get them the right information and the truthful information about the many powers of the plant, of the flower. So I first and foremost showed my grandmother where in the Bible, where I believe they talk about the tree of life and they talk about the plant and the flower. And to me, I believe that that's sativa. And so I don't know if it was just that. I don't know if it was, her grieving that she had just lost my grandfather after 60 years of marriage. I don't know if she was just like, I trust this girl. She's very convincing or passionate, which is what I hope the kind of energy I give off when I talk to somebody about it. But she was all for it. So I didn't start her off crazy. I didn't go get her, any pre-rolls or flowers. I started her off with CBD infused. I started her off with really good, like 18-1, and then just kind of moved her down to where she was like able to do 1-to-1 ratio on CBD to THC. But started her off with edibles, started off with tea. I'll make honey for her so that it's easy for her to put in something or just take a spoonful of it. Um, like I said, just do things that aren't scary, and like I said, just take the time to educate her, or educate them. I would not recommend unless they're a little bit younger and they, maybe used to blow back in the day, but I wouldn't recommend just rolling up, some of your top shelf, some of that good old 34% that you're blowing on, some of that loud pack, and then sitting down and let's not do that. And then, moving on for my mother, I found her a really good, the Bay Area, shout out, East Bay especially. You guys have some really good services, delivery services that are patient based. They're not customer based, they're patient based. And so I was able to find one close to her where she's comfortable with getting on the website. I mean, I wish I lived closer because you guys have a great deal all the time. But I introduced her to what product she needed. So edibles, a vape pen, even though she tried to do too much one day and got a little paranoid, off of a sound machine. I think I told you guys that. But we don't want things like that either. We want it to be a good experience. And if it is one of those crazy paranoid, I smoke too much or I'm too high experiences, like I said, educate them enough where then they know, let's go ahead and maybe hit a little bit CBD so that they can bring that high down and make them feel more comfortable. So tidbit, if I've never shared it with you guys, if you guys have some edibles or something that just has you on your ass, please have some CBD around at all times, whether it be a tincture, whether it be an edible, whether it be a pre-roll. You go ahead and you medicate with that. That's going to go ahead and even you out. All right. And it's going to make that high nice and enjoyable, not paranoid or, anxious filled. So another little Mary Jane Maven moment. So, I want to see, do we have any other questions coming up? I think I had 3. That was the last question? Okay.